to Living Our Vision. We're starting off today where we left off with last week's video.
Well, I left Chattanooga, boy, had $1 and a dime. Headed out from Nashville on the Hard Rock Line. I'm working on that old steamboat and I learned to ride and steam. When my feet had touched dry land, how happy I did feel.
Our next stop will be Thousand Trails. It's about a 3-hour drive from here. I don't know if we'll go all the way tonight or...
Probably not tonight because we're not supposed to check in until tomorrow.
Oh yeah, probably not tonight.
Follow the road into the sky. Never let adventures pass you by. Be free and follow your crazy dreams. We're living our vision in the RV. Come ride with us and you'll be free.
We're going to get close though. That way we'll be fairly close unless we find something along the way that we're like, ooh, we got to see that.
Right.
Because tomorrow Michelle and I have the day off.
Yeah, it's a Monday.
Other than filming.
Yeah.
So if we see something along the way, we're going to stop and maybe check it out tomorrow. So let's see what we can find here.
Yeah.
Been saving every penny for to make up through the fall. Working for that dollar.
Country cooking straight ahead.
Hey.
Coming around the riverbank where the old train whistle sang. The very next thing you hear from me, I've been tied to a ball and chain.
We stopped at Manchester, Tennessee at a Cracker Barrel. We decided not to drive too far tonight because we noticed some signs of some things to do in this area, and one of them is Jack Daniel's Distillery.
Yeah.
We thought about checking in the morning to see if we can't do a tour of that. There'll be no drinking going on.
Gotta drive.
Unless the non-driver wants to.
Eh.
But they do have a dry tour also, so we may do that. But we're going to check with that in the morning, and then we'll head over to Natchez Trace and whatever else we decide to do, because, again, we both have tomorrow off, kind of off.
The forecast, though, calls for storms, so we
Yeah.
might not be doing a whole lot in the afternoon.
True.
Just get to our site and...
True that. Good morning from Cracker Barrel in Manchester, Tennessee. Tank levels are 36 fresh, 46 gray, and 50 black. We're going to go to the Thousand Trails today, so we can just empty when we get there. We didn't have to run the AC, did we? A little bit.
Just when we got here because it was a little stuffy, but then we didn't run it very long when we turned the fan on, open the window, nice breeze.
We're getting ready to go to the Jack Daniel's Distillery. I think we're going to do the dry tour, unless Michelle wants to have a little sample.
And coffee, maybe?
We're going to get there here first thing when they open at 9 and try to get in right away. We got a storm coming today.
Yeah, it's going to be raining.
We're going to be driving in a storm, so we need to try to get into the distillery and out before that storm comes. So, shall we get going?
Yes.
What are you getting?
Well, I just remembered that we got that peach bread, a slice of that peach bread from Lane Southern Orchards that we stopped at, that Harvest Host.
That'll go good with your coffee, huh?
In Georgia. And yeah, I still have it. I can have it with my coffee.
Well, yay you.
Yay. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Is that one thick piece?
I know, it's one thick piece.
Holy cow. All right, that looks really soft. She don't mess around.
I taste, sorry, I had crumbs on my lips, sorry. I taste a little bit of like cinnamon in it. Very good, very moist.
That's the peach one, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Probably needs a little butter. That's good. Maybe about a 9. Ooh. Yeah, that's good. They also had like a cinnamon pecan too, but this is good, the peach one.
All right. Can I take us to Jack Daniel's now?
Yes, please.
Michelle's going tinkle. She just wanted me to let you know.
Hey.
Oh, it's nice having everything with you all the time. Your own restroom, if you need to change clothes. Oh yeah, they're with us. You don't have to think, oh, did I remember to bring? No, yeah, you did, because you got everything with you. Ready for this tour? I am too. I've been sitting here waiting a while. History. Jack Daniel's history?
Yes.
She likes whiskey history. That's what she likes. Whiskey girl. It's my whiskey pie girl. Whiskey pie.
Hey.
When you're parking over here in this parking lot, they have somebody standing here asking if you're here to go on the tour. You gotta actually walk over here across the road.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
How did you guys become famous?
We're drinking buddies.
Okay.
Later with the rye whiskey. I was reading a little bit online. They came out later years with the white. Too much caffeine. So I'll start over.
Is this what
reading,
you call pre-drunk?
Yeah, I was reading online ahead of time. These are some of their other whiskeys. They came out later with the rye whiskey. The Gentleman Jack, I believe, is supposed to be kind of like a smoother whiskey. They have a Tennessee honey one, honey.
Ooh-wee, now that sounds mighty tasty. Now, a few of y'all are probably thinking, what in the Sam Hill? Is he fixing to do that horrible southern accent again? And the majority of y'all usually get a kick out of it and think it's finer than a frog's hair. So if it gets your britches all twisted, don't forget, you have a choice in what you watch and no feeling her here. Now let's get on to the story of Jack Daniels, shall we? In his early teens, Jack was taken in by a local minister and moonshine maker named Dan Call. That's where Jack began distilling with Call and distiller Nathan Nearest Green, a slave who continued to work for Call after emancipation. He learned to make whiskey using the sour mash method and how to filter whiskey through charcoal, which was common at the time and known as the Lincoln County process. Other distillers would abandon the process for time and financial reasons, but it became a staple of Daniel's final product. It is said that after the American Civil War, Jack used his inheritance from his father's estate to purchase Call's still and hired Nearest Green, now a free man, to become Jack's first master distiller. Jack and Nearest appeared to have developed a friendship at a time when a relationship of this kind was uncommon.
That's 1 million gallons, Jack. Roughly $13.5 million US dollars in federal taxes once it's bottled. Temperature difference will make a difference in the maturity of the whiskey. I told you about running our whiskey through charcoal. That's called the Lincoln County process. This actually used to be part of Lincoln County. We're now Moore County. We formed from 4 counties that were around us. But back in the day, there were up to 12 small distilleries in this area.
When Jack moved his distillery to the Cave Spring Hollow, where it is today, Nearest's sons, Eli and George, came to work with him. Nearest's grandsons, Ott, Jesse, and Charlie, also come to work at the distillery. Ever since Nearest's day, a member of the Green family has always worked at the Jack Daniels distillery.
Charcoal after the burn. Could be even bigger than that. But what we grind it up. We want surface area. We want it packed in tight. Okay?
Known as Stillhouse Hollow, or Jack Daniels Hollow, the property includes a cave at the base of a limestone cliff.
Here, the smallest and the youngest of 10 kids. Not long after he was born, a year or so, his mama died. His daddy remarried. And so stepmom shows up. Jack didn't get along with stepmom. So they have a deal, because plenty of kids to work their farm. He moves next door to Reverend Dan Call's farm. He's a Lutheran minister. He owns a dry goods store. He owns a farm, but on that farm he's got a still. Now this is pre-Civil War between the states. He's got an enslaved man named Nathan Nears Green. You read about him up the visitor center, maybe? This enslaved man is taking care of his still. Well, Jack shows an interest, so he lets Jack start working with Nathan Nears Green, who he ended up calling Uncle Nears. And this became a lifelong passion for Jack. Look around. He wants to branch out. He wants his own thing. He knows about this property, about 200 acres. But he knows about this is Cave Spring. That's cool, clear water, 56 degrees, 13 Celsius. Because it takes iron out of the water. Iron will make your whiskey a dull gray or black color, make it taste nasty. Also, it adds some minerals to it that improves the flavor. But this water, from recorded time, has not gone dry, and it flows, and it's coming out. So this water is what we use to make our mash. I'm going to show you the mash tanks in a little while. So if any of y'all have ever had any Jack Daniels, you've had some of this water, because it's been making whiskey for us for over 100 plus years.
A life-size statue of Jack Daniels stands in front of the Cave Spring today. Limestone filtered water is often considered an essential ingredient in good whiskey. At that time, more than 15 distilleries were operating in Moore County, Tennessee.
Can you guess how tall Mr. Jack Daniels was? Michelle was taller than him. He was 5'2". Little guy.
He told Jack, I'm old, I'm retired, I'm staying where I'm at. It was 5 miles away. So Jack moves up here. We don't have any known pictures. These are all of our master distillers, starting here, coming around to Chris Fletcher, our current master distiller. But we didn't have nobody has a known picture of Uncle Nears, or he'd be up here. But we have the next best thing, his son. Jack and his son grew up together. We actually cool it down. We have water pipes in there to keep it cool. All right, so we make our mash, then we pump it over here to the still house. 40-foot tall stills made of copper. That's the old way. Copper, number one, takes out some other chemicals we don't like, and it inducts heat better. You can take pictures in here, film, wherever you want. Then we char it. That's a number 4 char. Then we put 53 gallons of that clear white liquid that's gone through the charcoal in there, and we cut it to 125% with water, and in the barrel house it goes, 4 to 7 years. We have testers that go in, they drill a hole, they sniff, they taste, they look at the color. When they determine it's ready, boom, they pull it. They pull those lots. What they do to have a good, consistent old number 7 you're used to drinking, they take 175 to 200 barrels, they mix or mingle them, and that's what they bottle. All right? Here's how they make a barrel. Y'all take a break.
The whiskey's color and a good part of its flavor are drawn from the barrel. That's why we go to the extra effort to make our own, crafted from American white oak. The rough staves are cut from the trunk and left to season in the open air. On a stick here, the barrel will leak, giving the angels more than their fair share. Now the staves go to the barrel raiser. Yes, barrels are raised, not built. A seasoned barrel maker will raise 250 barrels a day.
Buy you a barrel and you get your name on a plaque for the Single Barrel Society.
Those people bought a lot of barrels. Interesting and so worth it. Highly recommend to take the tour. We took the Dry County tour. It was $20 a piece. It's a full hour.
Look of disappointment because no.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, the other tours range upward from $30 a piece and then $35 a piece for sampling.
Our tour guide, Barry, he was probably
one of the best, if not the best, tour guides we've ever had on any tour.
And he said he was a
really
newbie tour guide, but
Yeah.
he was so good.
Said he even still smelled new. And we couldn't take pictures or video in some of the buildings because the fumes were so overwhelming, and
Might ignite.
none of us wanted to explode, so
Yeah.
they wouldn't allow you to do that in those areas. But oh my gosh, the one barrel where the fermenting, they have you stick your head in there and do it very slowly because it's going to hit you like that.
I swear it burned my
It's
nose
amazing.
hairs
It's
off.
amazing how quick. See, the barrel was here, and I kept going really slow and really slow. I was like, I'm not smelling it yet. So then all of a sudden it goes bam and just hits you.
It'll like set you back.
I hear that again. Bam! So there's a little bridge right here.
And
Okay. Oh.
we also bought a little bit. This is the single barrel rye, because we do
Yeah.
like rye whiskey.
They were out of their honey and a few others.
And the gentleman's Jack, they were out of.
Kind of the same thing that they were saying this year. They're having issues with getting bottles and labels. Same kind of thing. A lot of companies are
Yeah.
having issues getting supplies. But there's an old hardware store here in town, and that's where like they have their gift shop.
Mm-hmm. And that was started from Lem Motlow, who was the nephew to Jack Daniels and was also one of the master distillers. But anyway, he ran this after Jack had passed away. So he built the hardware store, and which is now their gift store and everything. But
You're so cute. Yeah, we got it. Well, if you get a chance to eat here, we highly recommend it because we heard it's good, but we can't eat here today. They're booked.
and there's really no gluten-free options. They have like a select menu each day. Today was fried chicken and meatloaf, which probably...
But they had a fudge pie.
I know. Close. Close getting that.
And it had whiskey in it too, didn't it?
The whipped cream had
and
whiskey.
there's something candied that had whiskey.
The apples.
Apples.
Yeah.
Just saying. All right, we're gonna try to find something else to eat
Maybe
here.
a barbecue.
Barbecue place right down here. Let's go try that.
Pulled pork sandwich.
Pulled pork. Home bread. We read online it was like a 3.5 rating. Oh, bee chasing you. Anyway, barbecue. We had the pulled pork. It was average. That 3.5 rating was probably about accurate.
Yeah.
So 3.5 out of 5. But so our rating is probably about 6.5, 7.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. Hope you enjoyed today's tour of the Jack Daniels Distillery. We're on our way to Natchez Trace 1000 Trails, and we've got more to show you next week. More places we're going to go and explore while we're heading back to Iowa. In the meantime, you might want to check back with us next week because we're getting ready to head into a storm. It's supposed to be kind of bad. So please pray for us. Keep your fingers crossed. And until then, we hope to catch you next week.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, click that little bell, and hit that thumbs up. See you next week.